Everybody get your share on. Everybody get your share on. Hey.
I see you, Gary. Lean with it, rock with it.
Lean with it, rock with it, man. Lean with it, rock with it.
Hey, I think the drums is the most imitated instrument it is. People always playing the drums. The air drums, they playing the air drums. Give them a real set. It's like, we're gonna do this.
Hey man, look, I have I miss playing the drums.
I'm surprised you don't have a set.
Man, look, Shallon to run my ass up out of here, man.
No, them boys gonna run y'all up out of here.
So look, she'll put me and the boys out of here if I went and got a drum set.
They're gonna be on that deal. Hey man, that's that talent though. That's how you started.
Shout out to Chef David Mallard checking in with us.
There you go. It's nothing, Mister. It's nothing in the building.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Chef David Mallard, one of our Twitchers. Shout out to my yeah. Man, Dave has a live ass show on Twitch, man.
You Twitcher?
Yeah, Dave is like a super Twitcher. He got like ads and everything.
Yeah.
Like seriously, man. Like if you're looking to follow somebody and you want to get you a weekly meal that you and the wife or you and the kids, you and your family can make, you should follow Chef David Mallard, and you can go and get the ingredients prior to the evening. And then from there, you get on with Dave, and he's gonna coach you through what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, and all of that. So yeah,
let's do this, Dave. If you are interested, let's get you on the show in 2 weeks. Not next Tuesday, but Tuesday after next. If you're interested, let's get you on the show. Does that work?
Look, I know Dave would be down with that. I mean,
Come on,
if he's
Dave.
available. If he's available, I'm pretty sure he won't have a problem doing that.
All right, for everybody that's watching right now, this is Nightcap Knowledge, real talk, real issues, real solutions. This show, it might not be for everybody. We're gonna tell it like a TI is. Hope y'all enjoyed. We're gonna dive right into it. So, DJ George Chuck, what you drinking, my brother?
Well, one of the things that I'm drinking out of my my underclassman cup. This is McRae's team. And I'm going to show him this in the morning because he says that this is his cup, but we're battling over this cup right now. One of the things that I want to do is I want to give a shout out to the underclassmen team. It's the 7U team. Now these are like 6 and 7 year olds, and McRae is probably the oldest kid on the team. So I'm drinking my water because we need to hydrate. Shout out to the official water of Nightcap Knowledge, Aspire Pure water, refreshing taste, keeping it simple. So definitely want to shout out to our official water of Nightcap Knowledge, right? Get it on Amazon if you can.
The fluid of life.
The fluid of life. But the cool thing that happened this weekend in terms of why I wanted to use that cup and talk about what I'm drinking, these little water drinking 7-year-olds, it's got to be something in their water, man. Them boys went and played against some 8U teams, and they held up real tough. Now they didn't make no wins, but I'm telling you, you saw them boys out there. They boom. I'm talking about making throws at the plate. You got the second baseman or the shortstop. They throwing it all the way home, and they almost made a couple of double plays, man. So I'm really proud of them, and I wanted to represent with my water cup or McRae's water cup. Yeah.
Represent. Well,
I'm
gonna represent,
drinking, man.
Oh man, I'm keeping it simple, man. We go into our oldie but goodie. Shout out to the Larry, the legend. Larry Legend.
Ain't nothing wrong with that honey, man. Ain't nothing wrong with
it. It's got honey in it, so it got to be good for you if it got honey in it.
Look,
honey has natural factors.
You put the honey with the in the hot toddy, man. That's a great hot toddy right there, buddy. So look, man, we want to go ahead and get to the mental health minute. We got the mental health minute brought to you by the Epps Institute, healing the entire you. Mr. Mac, what's our mental health minute for today?
Mental health minute. It is April. Sometimes, the year starts off and it seems like, man, it's been going on for a long time. So I know a lot of people are mentally, physically, spiritually drained. And the mental health minute was perseverance. Don't give up. Don't stop fighting. Keep pushing, keep moving forward. When you think is at a point, that's when you'll break through. So you got to keep going. Perseverance. Do not give up. Keep the fight. Find positive people. Find people that support you. People that motivate you. Keep you pushing. Don't live in the funk. Keep going. You definitely gotta keep pushing, man. I'm telling you, things get to you. Sometimes people. And some of the folks that you will see or think that should be cheering for you, or they, you be in a compromised predicament, and it makes you doubt again. This is close to confidence over fear, but perseverance is saying don't give up. Now, somewhere back in the day, between 2000 and 2003. We learned about this perseverance and a lot of other good things about not giving up. Because sometimes it's some glim moments. It look like it look a little rough, but know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And another point we learned about your head being bloody but never bowed. So we want you to understand that don't give up. Keep fighting. Keep pushing. Knowing that your life is bigger than you. And that you were put here for a purpose, and whatever that you're working on is for you, and you got to keep going. Don't let nobody deter you, distract you, and then always remember, you can simply just cuss their ass out and keep riding. Don't put that energy on you. Get it off of you and keep going. So perseverance is the mental health minute.
Hey, look, man, your mental health minute. It made me think about something that I had a conversation with McRae and his teammates. So for those of you that are watching, McRae is my 7-year-old, and I have a 4-year-old. So McRae and his teammates, they got hit in the mouth, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday previous. And so it was a rough weekend. They made it to the championship game, right? They met an evenly matched team, meaning that the kids that are 7 years old, just like them, 6 years old, just like them, they had bats, they had gloves, they had great coaching, right? They haven't been used to meeting teams like that. So you know, Mike Tyson say everybody got to play until you get hit in the mouth, right?
Hit in the mouth.
So they got hit in the mouth and they didn't know how to recover. So I had a conversation with McRae and a couple of his teammates, and I said, "Look, man, I could tell that y'all self-talk wasn't right." And what I mean by self-talk, I was like, you know, you started saying stuff to yourself. You didn't tell yourself that, you know, look, let's shake it off. Let's get on to the next at bat, or, you know, let's get the next out so we can get the next out, and then we can get the next out. Right. Y'all sat like you. What did you say? You said you feeling in the funk or
living in the funk.
Living in the funk. Man, look, these little dudes, they got hit in the mouth and then they just fell into the funk. And I ain't talking about the good funk. They lived in the funk. They never got out of it. And I think that chip on their shoulder, and then some of the conversations that, you know, parents and dads and coaches and moms and TTs and papas had with them between, you know, Saturday to Saturday or Sunday to Sunday, them kids came back and all of them had different attitudes. So 7-year-olds, senior citizens, and everybody in between, you gotta watch your self-talk. So Mac, I appreciate that mental health minute, man. That was on point.
I heard a pastor say years ago, he was saying people talk to other folks crazy because they talk to themselves crazy. And what it means is, if you have such a you see it, especially when you go to different places, restaurants, businesses, and it's so toxic. They just so upset with life and the world. And you say, "Hey, how you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, all right, I guess." Never say, "Oh, how are you doing, sir?" Hey, pardon me. Nope. Whether it be customer service, and it's just because they are so engulfed and they talk to themselves like that, and they just can't believe that someone else is speaking to them with positive and high energy, because they don't talk to themselves like that. They don't talk to themselves like, "Okay, all right, let's get this. All right, man." They don't do that. So they talk to you how they talk to themselves. And you said about having that self-talk. So there's a big difference when you're in a different environment, and like people look at you like, why is he so happy?
Yeah.
You know, because they can't see in themselves why they should be happy.
Right.
You know, the situation was like, "Man, you know, everything over. Hey, at least I'm still here." And people say it, but do you mean it?
Do you really mean
don't
it?
Give up.
Yeah.
There go Fred, Dr. Smith.
Hey, shout out to Fred. Fred messaged me earlier. I was like, dang, I appreciate the reminder. I gotta get with Max so we can get you scheduled, man.
That is the mental health expert right there. And what you're saying, man, is you know, self-talk and perseverance is not giving up. And we actually got a fighter as our guest for the show. And he can tell you some stories about some positive self-talk and not giving up. And he got some stories to tell you now, because he tell you that the load get heavy. You know, with the old folks that don't worry about how poor the mule is, just load the wagon. Sometimes the load get heavy, but you can't give up. You got to keep fighting, got to keep pushing forward. He is a true soldier. This brother wore many titles. Last title was as city councilman. Now he is state representative for the state of Mississippi, proud member of the Black Caucus. We have none other than the Keith Stamps, who's going to give us a legislative update.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, man. All is well.
It's been too long.
Way too long, man.
Way too long, man. Hey, I got my jug here. I got some Dr. Juice. That's what I'm sipping on today.
Hey, man.
We giving the horns for the Dr. Juice.
Hey, listen. I'm glad this show ain't but an hour. You get just sipping on that long than an hour, brother. You might have to take a pause. It'd be a little sign up there, but like, where the kid go?
hey, had to be right back.
Hey, man, if I knock that camera off.
God, there it is. Hey, better out than in, my brother. Better out than in.
Hey, if I jump this one and put that earpiece in, y'all know what time it is.
You know what time it is. He had to go. Be right back. Be right back.
But all right.
Hey, that's one of the things I know. People said this. We talked about this a while back. You ever go somewhere and you see a sign that said "Be right back," and you were like, "What time did you leave? And when are you supposed to come back?"
Just hold tight. Give me 10 minutes, brother. I'm gonna be right.
BRB.
Play some music. Run some commercials. Run some ads.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, man. So look, man. I know you.
Before we even get to that, man. Before we get to the topic, I want to say something about your mental health minute.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I'm quite sure that you got something you can add to that.
Brother, I did something this past weekend. I had to go back and check my mental health.
Come on with it.
I snapped on somebody.
Oh, Lord.
At the South Jackson parade.
Oh, God.
I mean, I went off.
Yeah.
I ain't went off in a minute. I had to go back and check my mental health.
Yeah.
They had some of those hate soldiers out there. They had some of them hate soldiers in front of the elementary school. And they were, doing their thing out there.
Yeah.
It's the same Caucasian brothers that protest the abortion clinic. They were out there with their abortion signs. And I'm not, against what they are for and all that kind of stuff. But man, they got out there and started berating the little girls that were coming through the things, little cheerleaders and dance troops, talking about they like prostitutes and dressed like whores, and them and their mamas going to hell. And y'all know.
You didn't know. Look, I'm not gonna let you put that on yourself because you ain't do shit wrong.
Man,
you helped your mental health.
Hey, when they came and got me, it just take one little girl crying. One.
Nah, man.
Pointing, and she pointing at these group of Caucasian brothers over there.
It was him.
It was. Hey, every piece of lion in me.
What time was this?
Well, see, let me just tell you what happened. So, the Neanderthals, the illiterate Neanderthals, thought they were coming to a South Jackson Pride parade because it was South Jackson Proud. So they thought they were coming to a South Jackson Pride parade. So they got geared up. They got, geared up to come protest a pride parade.
Yeah.
But they're illiterate Neanderthals. So it's a difference in pride and proud. One is community center, showing pride in our neighborhood and our students finishing the year off.
Right.
We're doing well. Let's move forward. Let's be proud of our communities. We got, every neighborhood association had their little car and float in the proud. But these Neanderthals got geared up for pride.
That much hate in their heart.
But then they saw the dance troops and figured they want to redirect their hate. And then, you know me, man, I got daughters, man.
Yeah.
And we in front of an elementary school now. This is not like downtown at the abortion clinic. This is South Jackson. And we got some real homeboys in the parade, in their bike club and their truck clubs and, and all that, right? So.
Hey, buddy. Keep on with it.
So every piece of lion in me. It's been a long time since I called somebody an MF on video. Live.
Hey, buddy.
Listen,
I'd have been right there with you for the record.
I'm gonna say what Stabs K said, because I ain't running for nobody off. And I ain't in nobody off.
Come on with it, man.
I don't give a hot shit if that motherfucker. I mean, if they were down there if it was a pride parade, you in South Jackson,
right?
You where we are, and you take that shit wherever you want to take it. But I'm so glad, man. Damn, why I was getting ready. I had that event. I was like, where was I?
So
shit.
So let me ask you this, Stamp. Did anybody say that you handled it
wrong
the wrong way?
Oh, I don't take it back. I say it 10,000 more times.
Oh, I'm just
I didn't, I don't. Hey, man, I'm not. I got a little bit of Charles Evans in me. You know what I mean? Before I take it back, I say it 10,000 more times.
All right. Because I was just thinking, like, man, did somebody tell Stamps that, that he was wrong in his delivery? Because at the end of the day, man, protection of womanhood, protect our women.
Hey, but here's the real deal. We actually saved their lives because there were brothers out there who really killed these guys. Hello. Okay. Yeah. So when I found out all the dynamics to it, I drove my little Ford Ranger up there right in front of them. And these brothers were out there, they always strapped. Now, this is South Texas. They always strapped.
Always strapped.
And these are these brothers' nieces and daughters now.
Right.
Okay. So, these
I know what you mean.
Folks out here to kill folks for way less than cussing out their children. There's a guy got shot over $5 last week.
Yep.
Okay. So
out south.
Yeah, and so I don't apologize because our intervention may be a little outside the norm, maybe a little crack, but it actually saved their lives because they were finna die. And then one of the other brothers, told the other guys, y'all can go over there and fuss with them, but don't touch me, don't kill them. And so they had a little interaction with a bunch of other brothers out there as well, but but they understand that, while my tactics may be a little rough around the edges, you should be thanking me for saving your life because you were going to die that day. And we intervened.
Boy, I can tell you the goddamn entitlement and the testicular fortitude of white folks and white male to think you can bring your ass to anybody's neighborhood and stand back and say things. Here's the thing about that freedom of speech with the 1996 amendment of if it does not infringe upon the rights of others or incite a riot. So you talking about cussing out and calling names to somebody's child, you incited a riot. Because I don't give a damn how many of y'all it is. It's gonna be one or two less by the time the event.
It was only 3 of them.
Oh, hell no.
We had
you did say they lied. You say
they lied.
Shit. What you thought? You thought they were going to say, man, ain't no way in hell. Steph, I think you did better. Because
we saved their life for real.
Your daughters was not here. If your daughters had been a part of that and Kennedy came to you crying, it probably been a whole different story.
Yeah, but, we actually saved their lives and they were able to go home to their families. Because it's real when the police pack up and leave. Because we had a whole row of police officers, in front of the entrance.
Yeah.
But when the police packed up and left.
I don't want to be no part of this shit.
Because we saw.
What's my man on Friday?
The police officers, give you a little backdrop of it. The police officers were in the street lined up in a row. It was about 10 police cars and about 15 police officers.
Yeah.
The protesters were next, and then it was the rest of us. So if somebody was going to start shooting, the police officers would have been in the backdrop, of the shooting. So the police officers went left and right. They said, these your guys didn't start shooting everybody. Oh. We'll have to flank the situation versus be the backdrop of it. Yeah, and so we were able to navigate it around. We got them, got everybody situated. But this is not, it's not fun.
Well, that's the point, man. And I think that that type of energy and like I said earlier, the protection of womanhood. You have to be willing to protect your community. I think that's what you're trying to do with all of the things and the things you're bringing up in the legislature, the way that you deliver the information to the community, your accessibility to your constituents. Everybody ain't doing that. Everybody's not present like that. Everybody's not stepping in the line of fire, for real. You know, you're doing that, and you're a consistent person in that way. So, let's jump into some of these legislative updates, and the next time that the you know, them so and so's, as my grandmama would call them when she was trying to be politically correct. Them so and so, next time they come around, they might have a different a different viewpoint, vantage point from you know.
What my final comment on it is, one of them was like, really adamant about my approach, and some of the vernacular I was using was inappropriate. And I just left him with this. Well, next time I'll take the Martin Luther King approach. I'll turn the other cheek.
So do something first.
And then let the homeboys take care of you their way.
Yeah.
Because my way may be a little rough around the edges. And, you might have some verbiage that may be, not appropriate for, the church house, but if you want me to take the Martin Luther King approach and turn the other cheek, you'd have had a triple homicide on McDowell Road Saturday afternoon. Because these guys don't really have, a problem killing folks. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So, but we were able to rectify the situation in another way to avert having a triple homicide in the middle of a good parade. It was a good activity. I want to say thanks to everybody who participated, donated, sponsored, because when I say it was a great parade, we had a run walk. We had a 3-on-3 basketball tournament with the Mississippi Pro Basketball Association that was there.
That's what's up.
Host of had a parade there. High school bands and stuff participated. Yeah. So it was a really good event. And if you weren't at that portion, you didn't even know that happened.
Yeah.
And that was a good thing about it. You didn't even know it happened. The only thing that was on the news was the other stuff. You didn't see the guys with guns out there. You didn't see that. All of that was able to be averted by me.
Right.
Interceded. Shout out to Councilman Aaron Banks and the guys from the truck club and all of that. So, that was a success story inside a success story, of it all.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
So
but back to the legislative update. Go ahead.
Yeah. Give us some update, man. Tell us what you're fighting for down in the Capitol.
Yeah. So, the mayor of Tupelo said it best. The state of Mississippi had more money this year than they know to do with.
Mm-hmm.
And they got folks on both sides of the aisle that they like. They got both on both sides of the race spectrum that they like. And they got folks on both sides of the aisle that they don't like and don't trust. They got white folks and black folks they don't trust.
Yeah.
So when you look at the allocation of monies, some will say it's just race, but I would also add a trust factor in there as well. And so some of the, large chunks of the monies that were doled out, we're going to get specific to Hinds County and Jackson in a second, but big chunks of it were put into water grant programs, because being able to weigh out what's a viable project, everybody just, when you get roughly $10 billion of requests for a few $1 billion of money, you don't know what's a viable program or project. And some are not. You just don't know it. So we created grant programs with hundreds of millions of dollars in them that each city and county can apply for. So there are hundreds of millions of dollars in water grant programs and sewer grant programs administered through the Department of Health and Department of Environmental Quality to address those issues.
Yeah.
With the sewer and water. Then beyond that, we sliced off resources for projects and to municipalities and counties. So those projects, I posted some of them specific to Hinds County in the comment section, but I think it's 2 posts there with our Hinds County allocation. We're able to bring back to Hinds County's $12 million for a dining hall at Jackson State, $5 million for residence hall, $940,000 for a Hawkins Field foam truck in order for the airport to be in compliance with some of the new aircraft that they're bringing in you got to have the safety equipment in place for that. Scott Ford House renovations, that's a historic building here in Jackson, where they first were doing midwives, and $300,000. That's back when that Scott Ford House is back when Black folks couldn't go to the hospital. That's where everybody was born. $300,000 for career development centers, renovations at the CDC. You talk about skills, pay the bills, where you got to have upgraded facilities so that folks can learn how to be a carpenter, plumber, mechanic, and all those trade skills right in the heart of Jackson. $1 million for renovations to the convention center parking lot. That's in preparation for a convention center hotel to be put there. But in the meantime, we need to open up a venue space outside the convention center so that you can have outdoor activities and events and increase the parking, to make that whole area look better so that we can move our entertainment economy. Y'all, Mac will tell you 1,000 stories about how effective or ineffective work at the convention center is and things they can do to be better.
Let me take it out so y'all can see my face. All right, I'm back.
We got some pool renovations and make them ADA compliant, creek and drainage repairs, Thyramar Hall renovations, planetarium, Eubanks Creek. Also, City of Raymond upgrades to their police station. And I think we got another one you can click on there. We got some road reconstruction going on in Champion Hill Road, resurfacing, $500,000 for the city of Byram's drainage. That's part of my area there. That's dire need of that. $30,000 for the town of Terry's new community center. That's in my area as well, or my area I share with Representative Cruder and Representative Greg Holloway, and Senator Blunt helped us with all those things. The extending the repealer on the Visit Jackson program that allows restaurants, hotels, and motels to have tax supports. Our donation we do to keep Jackson beautiful every year, we allow for that authorization to go through. And then one of the bigger things is Senate Bill 2898 that extends the water debt forgiveness program that the city of Jackson uses to negotiate people's water bills. And beyond that, one thing that's not on that list is some monies for the city of Jackson directly to have to put in $25 million, and the state's going to match that on a project by project basis to help with water issues and sewer issues as well. So there's several pots of money for water and sewer, both directly and through the water sewer grant programs. But that puts in place another $25 million to help towards those areas. And we just got to keep pushing, but we have to, and I tell folks, when it come from December to April, it's kind of like, you got to be on your best behavior, after Thanksgiving, because it leads to your Christmas gift. Mm-hmm. Same thing when it comes to our legislature. We got to change how we articulate issues to the legislature, because most of the legislators live in Jackson. Most of them have houses or rent houses here in Jackson, which means that they pay property taxes. They fighting with the water department too. So it's not like they just, descend on Jackson, leave back. Now everybody don't live in Jackson, but the majority of folks live in Jackson. They got houses here that, so it's cheaper for them to buy a house than to pay for hotel rooms for 4 months out of the year. You can take that same money you're getting and actually buy an asset, or two of them can get together and buy a house and split it. So there's several, I would say over probably 3/4 of the legislature are also Jackson residents, and they, throughout the year. So they're going through the same issues, but we just have to make sure we engage the right way. Yeah. Because, everybody's just not an outsider in dealing with these problems.
It's more beneficial because everybody has to do business in Jackson. I don't care what you do, where you coming from. At some point, you're going to have to do something in Jackson. Even with me having, now become a resident of the Mississippi Gulf Coast, specifically Gulfport. Gulfport can't get around Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Biloxi can't get around Jackson. When you have, major convenings, at some point, I don't care what type of business that you're in, your association is going to do something in Jackson. And for legislators, for folks that are not, like you said, staying in hotels or driving their RV and posting up in the RV parks and resorts and things like that. The majority of people are going to, like you said, get a property, and then they're probably going to Airbnb it out in something like that, or they're here doing business enough to where they're going to maintain that residence and they'll have access to it, and they're here 50% of the time.
And most of our legislators, they have to come here at least 6 days a month.
Exactly.
So most of them will come on a Monday, spend the night, stay to Tuesday, and they'll do that, in the houses that they have. And then most of them Airbnb the rest of it, out for the rest of the year. And they don't Airbnb, one of the bedrooms. They Airbnb everything except the master bedroom. And that's how they, function.
Yeah. Look, man, I appreciate the updates. Of course, some of the things that Mac and I are most interested in. Of course, Mac being a resident of South Jackson, but then the type of work that we do outside of the advocacy work that we do with Mississippi Move. A lot of the stuff that you were talking about is going to directly impact business as it relates to events, entertainment, the restaurant, hotels, motels, all of those things is definitely plays into putting money into our pockets, because if we don't do that stuff, we ain't got no way to do money and raise money for Mississippi Move too. So it selfishly, hey, keep doing what you're doing.
We got a lot of work to do, and we have to, we still have a Neanderthal philosophy when it comes to running the state of Mississippi.
Yeah.
Georgia has realized that it needs an Atlanta. Tennessee has realized that it needs a Memphis and a Nashville.
Yeah.
Louisiana has figured out that it needs a New Orleans.
Right.
Texas has figured out it needs a Houston.
Right. Yep.
Mississippi is gonna have to at some point realize that, hey, in order for us to compete in the region, this is how I made some headway this year. In order for us to compete in the region, we have to put a dot on the map that has 250,000 people in a 10-mile circle.
Yep.
Wherever you do it, but we got to put a dot on a map so that we can have a true urban economy, not just draw a line on a map in a circle and say this is our urban area. No. We have to have the economy that scales, and the only way we can compete, the only way Mississippi's economy is ever going to grow properly is if we put 250,000 people within a 10-mile circle. That's as simple as I can make the solution for not just Jackson, but for Mississippi.
Right.
Because Mississippi is not going to grow until it puts 250,000 people within a 10-mile circle.
And the best chance for that is what?
It's in Jackson.
Hines County.
So that's the message, and that's how simple the message has to be, because we have to pierce this, and we got black Neanderthals and white Neanderthals. This is not just a one-way thing. We got folks that on both sides. Our target, for the common sense man and woman, our greatest target, our greatest opposition is Neanderthal thinking. No matter what race or party you're in, if you represent Neanderthal, that means we got to push you to the side so that common sense can at least push through.
What they don't realize, like, Jackson is the taproot, and there will no tree survive without a taproot. Jackson is one of few cities, and Stan's probably know better than I do how many states in the United States has their capital centralized in the middle of the state.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think about Jackson has a lot of uniqueness about it. And if it wasn't for politics and, like he said, ass hat thinking, then folks wouldn't be trying to destroy it. They'd be trying to build upon it. It's just like building on your best player. Think about when blacks started to integrate the sports. You're like, I don't want him, no, this. But then you realize he runs faster than him. He hits faster than that guy. He hits better. So you start doing what? You start building up that person. I don't mean you like him anymore, but you know the best chance of you winning is that you had Jackie Robinson. You know what I'm saying? And you knew the best time of your team running with that you had a Hank Aaron. If you had those type of things on your team. So what Stamps is saying is what we're saying. Use common sense. If you're trying to move the state forward, that means you got to like folks anymore. But if you could, Dr. Oh my God, what is his name? Brian.
You just take you a sip of your juice, man. Get you
no. I'm trying to. No, that ain't. I can't remember his name, but what he said was, in the United States, if you stop trying to keep black folks or areas that predominantly black from getting money, then you won't have to worry about your money. You still outnumber us. You still have more. You still have more stuff than we do. You still have more property, but you're hurting yourselves by trying to prevent predominantly black areas or predominantly black businesses from being able to obtain significant amount of resources and money.
Yeah.
Right?
So you want to prevent the tide from rising just so you can keep their boat from floating up.
But you hurting yourself.
They boat ain't as big as your boat.
You hurting yourself. You hurting yourself. Now, I would say this about Jackson is Jackson has, just like I said about Holmes County and Edwards, that areas we have the capacity to save ourselves, but we have to work together and utilize our resources, and we got to do that and handle the business that we had. Just like that car. If your dad bought you a car, and before you got a new car, he want to see how well you take care of the old car.
Mm-hmm.
So with Jackson and other areas, especially here, how well we're going to take care of the things that we have with the little money that we do have before we get new stuff. So if we're not doing what we need to do and working as a unit to take care of the stuff that we do have, you can't quit hiding. The state won't give us this. What are you doing to require or make them give it to you and show them how you utilize the stuff that you did have? And so it's a lot go into this. Money, you just can't throw money at the situation, because if you don't know what you're doing with it and you don't apply it correctly, then you be back in the same damn boat next year saying, I watched them fill a pothole. To me, I don't know anything about the industry. To me, it makes sense to block off that area so it can solidify and do something. But by the time they throw the shit in the pothole and take off, a car come through and hit it, knock it all back out.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, like, would it make more sense to figure out a way to at least let it sit or do something to prevent the situation? Because if you can maintain that and then come up with a plan. But the biggest plan that Stamps and I ask is how you get the water off the
road. You're right. Drainage is more important than streets, because with proper drainage, the streets last longer. But see, with short-sighted thinking, that doesn't make sense to folks.
Yeah.
I remember that year, Mac, I said, hey, you know what? I don't want you to fix a street in my ward. I need you to fix my drainage.
No, they can't.
And then next year we can talk about the streets.
Yeah.
I got stoned for that one.
No. That ain't what you got stoned for. You got stoned for
a lot. Which one you talking about now?
The community meeting. They're talking about what you doing. We need businesses. We need money. But Stamp said, well, I'm drafting legislation on the city council level that we have no more churches in commercial areas. No, we need churches. Stamp said we have 1,100 churches. How many people get paid? And they were like, no, we need it. He said, but you said you want me to create more jobs. So how to create more jobs? And you got a 10,000 square foot building that can be turned into a grocery store that's being used for a church with a population of 100 people. You know what I'm saying? So you like, how you gonna say you?
I did get stoned pretty hard for that one. I said, I don't want churches.
In commercial
if you want to have a church, Go buy another church that's already in existence, but no new churches.
Amen.
In a commercial area.
In the commercial area. Go in the neighborhood. You want to have a church? Go build you a church next to a subdivision.
Yeah.
But if you on Highway 80 or Highway 18 and in the commercial districts and all that, and no more churches in the commercial district. Boy, they got hot behind them.
Oh, yeah. But you can't. But like I said, I always quote.
They're gonna kill you, man.
Hey, man, the only thing I know how to do is tell the truth.
Hey, man, that's it. That's it.
The only thing I know how to do is copy and paste. How many churches you can see on that road where they got the businesses in Madison?
One.
It
ain't even on that road. It's down from there.
How many churches you see in the Renaissance?
Correct.
How many churches you see in Flowood on that main strip there where the restaurants and stuff are? So all I said, well, let's just do what they doing over there. It's obviously look like it's working for them.
Hey, man, I got to get another drop for when stumps come on. Who is this nigga on this name? I never looked at you like that. Who let him in here? But hey, everything that you saying makes sense though.
Oh, listen, this is the other one we came up with. I said, me and Stamps talking about the industrial side of Jackson. I said, out of all these buildings we have, I said, why don't we take one of these buildings and start our own paving business and pave our own streets and then buy the equipment, everything we need, and then start to take care of the surrounding areas.
Right.
And then you get people that look at you like this. That don't make sense.
No, let me go. What Mac is saying, I said, well, why don't we, like, instead of buying asphalt, since we need so much asphalt, why don't we make the city make its own asphalt plant?
Right.
So, because it's just a couple of different products, you mix them together, heat it up, and you dump it, and you boom.
Right.
So instead of buying the asphalt, why don't we just buy the raw materials
and make the plant
and make the asphalt, and we'll save this much money. Yeah. Oh, they want to even the state for no.
Because why? Because
it's gonna put people out of business. They wrote a it's a law that makes it so that nobody can build, and no municipality can build an asphalt plant.
Because they own the asphalt plant.
Right. So again, some of our things we put on the table, but see, I wouldn't be able to sleep with myself at night. Right. If I didn't put every idea, good or bad.
Yeah, put it out there.
Put it out there. Even a bad idea, somebody could hear it and say, you know what, that's not the good idea. But if you take this piece of that idea, and that piece of this idea, and then put these other pieces to it, then you move forward.
Yep.
So I said, at this point, everybody should take every idea that they had scratched on a piece of paper, on a napkin, put every idea out there, and let's mold it around. See, the problem is when you're sitting around a table of folks,
right?
They don't have no ideas. So they just shoot down your ideas. I said, well, where your ideas at? If my ideas are so bad, where are your ideas?
At least add to my idea.
Or add to
it. the world famous DJ, the Magnificent Jazzy Jeff, he has a clip that's floating around social media and YouTube. He said something about dying empty, meaning that he said, "Man, look,
that's how I'm trying to go.
I don't want to sit on anything that could potentially be the biggest thing that I ever do." Hearing that, and then our conversation tonight, it makes me think about it was something, I don't know if it was one of my friends that posted it, but there's a Tupac lyric where Tupac basically, he's saying that, I might not change the world, but I may write the lyric that inspires the person that changes the world.
That's right.
And I thought about it as it relates to Nipsey Hussle.
Right.
Tupac wrote all of that stuff, right? All those songs, all those things, and Tupac inspired Neighborhood Nip. Neighborhood Nip started doing what? Buying Black the Block, creating this bigger than life brand. The marathon continues. Now you got little kids everywhere, especially in that that Slauson area where they're saying, all money in. I'm saving and I'm buying and I'm investing and I'm starting my business and I'm going to read. I'm going to learn. I love my community. I love my culture. You're not going to come here and do this. And just like you saying, Stamps, if I don't say it, and then the representative over here or the senator over here or the person that receives it from the news where they might quote you, and then that person says, huh. And then somebody gets together, and then this thing that develops from that was birthed from that one idea that you didn't let die. Or you didn't let it die with you.
That's right. That's one of my mantras is ideas never die. Because the things you don't move on, 20 years from now, when you are filled with regret, you look across and you see, oh man, I thought about that 20 years ago.
I don't even want to talk about this.
Because whatever you don't do, God is not gonna stop dropping these seeds. Just because you don't use it, He's gonna put that seed in somebody else. And then somebody else. And then somebody else gonna make that billion.
Yeah. Hold on.
But that goes back to another saying, Stamps. We talk about iron sharpens iron, right? So you have folks that even if you don't agree with them, it's good to have someone around you that you can go back and forth with, and not have folks that all they got is that don't work. They can't even pitch another idea because they don't have it. And so that's one of the things we talk about, having a collective group of folks who want to do something different and actually put that energy to work for them and come up with some ways and action plans. Let's try the shit and fail. You know what I'm saying? Versus just sit back and say, "Hey,
fail fast."
I fail fast.
What did you?
One of our biggest problems right now, man. Let me tell you, one of our biggest, and this thing right here hurts my soul. Our children and us, we see so much in all this media, social media. We see so much, but we dream so little.
Correct.
We see so much, but dream so little. We got folks who are just seeing a lot of stuff, bringing a lot of information, data, videos, all that stuff on social media and just life period. But we stopped dreaming. That was as a whole. Now me, I dream every day. I dream in picture and vivid color and wake up excited because I got a whole bunch of things in my head. I want to go do this, do that.
Okay,
but as a society, we stopped dreaming.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, I grew up when I wasn't born at this time, but when Kennedy said we're going to the moon, we didn't know how we're gonna get there. We had no idea. We didn't get to the moon.
And then look what happened.
Right? Yep. We got to get back to what they call good old American innovation. It's all cookie cutter corporate now, but we're stifling our own growth of humanity by putting lids on our own dreams. We used to dream, man.
Yeah.
And then we just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We pull up our pants and go do it. That's what we got to get back to doing, is doing big stuff. We right here pilling around with Jackson water sewer problem. We supposed to be doing some big stuff, man. We supposed to do some, I grew up, man, put your cojones on the table. You know what I mean? Let's do some big stuff, man.
Yeah. And the thing about it is a lot of the big stuff it ain't even complex.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's simple ideas you can come up with. And then if you do it, it's working. Like Chuck and I were talking about with stepping. Some of the best shows has been done with repetitive steps, but it was sharp. You know what I'm saying? And you put your energy in it. Versus trying to do all that. You ain't got to do no extravagant shit. You just got to do the stuff good that you know how to do. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like, man, they did a damn good job. You just didn't fuck up. That's a big thing. People like, man, we had a good year. What did you do? Oh, well, we didn't fuck up. That's a big year. I've been watching the Ranch a lot on Netflix. I'm just gonna say,
I got one for you, man. Hey, man, how y'all win? We ain't let them score.
That's it.
What you mean? We ain't let them score.
You persevered. You did not give up. Did not give up.
Kept pushing. You know, one other update I got, and this is going to be the largest economic development opportunity in the state of Mississippi. You know, for years, I tried to get the city of Jackson to extend its water sewer services outside the city limits, outside of its current jurisdiction.
Right.
Hold on one second.
You had to go on mute right quick.
Thank you. For years, I tried to get the city of Jackson to extend its water sewer services outside of where it is, because there's places in Hinds County, in rural Hinds County, that need sewer. Mm-hmm. And it's also one of the reasons why I ran for public service commissioner last year, is because, you know, we got areas who are being held back for economic development because you don't have sewer. Reason why you don't have certain like areas like, you know, Raymond, Clinton, and all this, where you got new neighborhoods outside the area, you don't have sewer, you know. And so we wrote, myself and Representative Stephanie Foster created a wastewater authority through legislation between the city of Clinton, the city of Raymond, and the city of Bolton that allows them to come together and create a wastewater authority. And that wastewater authority would in turn service that area out there. So if you look at how much space and land that is out there, that's going to open up another economic development opportunity for the state of Mississippi to create the largest economic development area right in front of Continental Tire Plant. Mm-hmm. And in that whole geographic space, next year we're going to come back and try to add the town of Edwards to that. But that's why the new growth is going to happen. The reason it hurt me to write that or to help push that was because it's something I've been trying to get Jackson to do for 6 or 7 years. And, you know, and when Jackson was fighting for West Rankin to stay on the system, you got folks on this side of you that need the services you have to offer. Right. And now they're finna get $100 million sewer plant, you know, out there. And so, but it's a win for Hinds County. It's a win for the folks in those areas. But I do know that Jackson's system needs more customers, and there was an opportunity for Jackson to get more customers. But you know, it's going to create jobs. You know, I'm from out there in the Edwards area, so you know, I got a lot of folks out there that need sewers beyond time. We got folks still putting, you know, they got a sewer running in their backyard. You know, that's 2022, man. We got to move beyond that.
Yeah. And I've noticed, I mean, you know, the whole septic conversation, you got folks that still running your field lines and all of that stuff down here. And hearing you have this conversation about, you know, one of the largest municipalities in the state, it's the same, like you said, the Neanderthal thinking, or as Max said, ass hat. Did I get that from?
I got that from Severe. Yeah.
Oh, all right. You got the ass hat thinking. Why is it that? And I don't get it. Like, I live in the county. I have sewer. You know, Hinds County, Harrison County Utility Authority, and then I go down a street where you're still in Harrison County. And you're literally, the city sign is right there. And then you got a whole like 40-acre area. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to do septic over here.
Right.
Don't you know that them folk want to pay for that too?
Oh yeah.
Don't nobody want it. Listen, I say this for me. You know, I don't know how many other people that would share that, but I understand what it's like not to have the proper indoor running water and plant. Yeah, if you had an option, yeah, I want some goddamn. I want to be able to flush. You don't want to have that problem where you can't flush your toilet correctly, the shit back up because you got a septic system that's not working.
Or your whole front yard is flooded because Come on.
Right. Oh, you know about that. You grew up digging septic and shit like that.
Right. You much rather pay $5 a month for a sewer bill.
Come on, man.
10, 15, whatever gonna make the toilet flush and whatever's in the toilet to go away and not come back. That's what you want.
Man, flush the toilet and know the trash gonna get picked up.
This highlights how important utilities are. People ask me all the time, man, why are you running for public service commissioner last time? Why? They don't even make, what does that even do? Because whoever has the utilities, whoever has the broadband is going to thrive.
But you know, that's a whole nother conversation, right? I remember talking about it in my class, and rest of soul, Dr. Thompson. I talked about it 3 times to Dr. Thompson class. The average person in this area, we do not understand the capacity of a lot of the political positions, because until Cecil Brown ran for public service commissioner, we didn't have public service commissioner signs in the black neighborhoods. You didn't know what the hell a public service commissioner was and what they did. So you'll be mad at the city about your energy and utilities, but really the person you should have been talking to was the public service commissioner.
I still don't have fiber.
Transportation commissioner. They talked about bridges in the city of Jackson in Hinds County, but you should have been talking to your transportation commissioner. But you don't know that because we don't have those discussions, because they were being elected in these positions for years and never put a sign in the predominantly black area. So it's a whole lot we got to understand. And we understand this too. And I'm going to say this, whatever other folks might not want to say. If you're in an area that's 85% black and you have 15% white, all right? And out of 85% black, 25% of them go vote. But all 15% of the white go vote. And you wonder why the race so close. You see what I'm saying? So the numbers, they say numbers don't lie, but people do. We are not utilizing our resources. So if you got 15% people that are working hard and strong and working together as a unit, it's a damn chance they're gonna defeat that 85, because they are divided. They're not working together. They're not on the same page, and they're not asking and fighting for the same goal. And when you have situations like we're talking about sewer and all this, we don't know who has the capacity to make those decisions that change our lives. We just know the folks that's in front of us. I know Stamps. We went to school together. I'm gonna go cuss Stamps out, but I ain't gonna go cuss the insurance commissioner out, because I'm gonna say this: with the sewer bill, you talking about $90 million with waste management. We talked about what was that, $90 million with the water sewer. $90 million. We had a conversation. We see black folks back and forth on TV. But your governor has the capacity to take that pen and do this and open up the door for $14 billion or more. And we don't say not a word about it.
Oh my God!
Not a word. So you talking about changing the economic system in the state of Mississippi? One stroke of a pen will change all of that. And that's a conversation.
Changing the direction of my energy.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of folks in the black community that spend a lot of time fighting each other. I'm focusing my energy and efforts on working with and trying to arm wrestle, arm tie, hog tie some folks that don't look like me to help address our issues. Because why am I fighting with black folks? Why am I fighting with Democrats?
Yeah.
I need to be in another space fighting with folks who control the resources and things that move this state forward. So, you know, I'm not really jumping into these Negro messes that's out there. I ain't really going fighting back and forth with no. I'm spending my time working with folks who can move the needle.
And your position,
but being prepared to fight, but going in working with folks.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, man, if you're going to smart business people saying, if I can make money with you, you can be my enemy all day long.
That's right.
But if you're gonna make me some money, let's go ahead and make this money, and I'll cuss you out later. Or
but that's what we did with the wastewater authority for Clinton, Raymond, and Bolton.
Yeah, them white folks want to flush their toilets too.
They want to flush their toilet too. They don't want to pack up. So, civics people out there, Raymond is the county seat.
And there it is.
Raymond is the county seat. All right, and Mayor Tullis, he's a hard-working mayor. Mayor Clinton is. So does the leadership in both. Different races, different genders, different agendas.
Right.
Different parties.
Genders and agendas. Right.
And so they want to flush the toilet. So we can come together and agree on toilet.
Simple shit. Literally.
Literally, right. And so again, that's why I love this utility space, because first, that's where the economic development starts at. And we all want to flush our toilet, drink our water, and get on the internet.
Come on, man.
And cut the light on. Cut the light on.
I want fiber in my neighborhood.
Let me go back to that. So now I was also a conferee, and tomorrow at 1:30, the governor is signing the Mississippi Broadband Act. I co-sponsored, co-authored that, and I was a conferee on that bill. That bill sits in place the broadband office, and between all the pots of money that come into the state for broadband, there's going to be right around $2 billion to divide up, to give grants to the utility companies to install broadband and fiber throughout the state of Mississippi.
There you go, Chuck.
Hey, look, you saw, that GIF, the little white man.
But sometimes, but in order to be in those spaces, I was a conferee on that bill.
Yeah.
But in order to be there, that means sometimes you just can't run with the pack.
Right.
You got to have relationships with folks to even be. They could have picked one of their Caucasian counterparts in the Republic. They didn't have to pick me to be a part of this. The way the conference process works is all session, all of the bills go round and round and round. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the session, if they put it in conference, that means on the House Representative side, they pick 3 people.
Yeah.
And on the Senate side, they pick 3 people. So I was one of the 3, and the original bill had a commission in place. I don't like commissions at all because it distances the power even further away from my community. Because if you have a commission that's put in place by the governor, lieutenant governor, and the speaker, all right, and it's 6 or 7 people,
right?
I mean, it's me as a representative. Those folks not listening to me,
right?
They listen to who put them there. So that distances the decision making away from me. Now it's still going to be a state agency, but we were able to avert that commission being in place because we did our homework, we huddled up, and we said, you know what? The governor just sued the state of Mississippi or the legislature for creating commissions and giving itself appointing authority. So what if he sues us over this? So we're going to hold up $2 billion over a lawsuit? Mm-hmm. So then the table lean back. Well, let's just take that out. Relationships, homework, you got to strategize and make this stuff happen. That's what I appreciate the chairman for even putting me on the committee and leading the way. Chairman Bounds, people may feel some kind of way about him, but those chairmen really run the show. And so I appreciate him for putting me on the committee, on the conferee committee. And but at the end of the day, it's going to be $2 billion out there to decide where broadband goes. And also in it, it says underserved communities first.
Well, now, who determined what an underserved community looks like? That's a whole nother goddamn question.
That's a whole, like I said. But again, the most powerful weapon that man has ever invented.
That pen.
Is this pen.
That pen.
It's not a nuclear bomb. It's not a rifle. It's not a tank. It's not a stealth fighter.
You would see the change of the population of Mississippi by signing a pen, taking that pen and say, you know what, we're going to expand affordable health care. How quick can you get all this money here to us? And then you do your census, or you just look at the population growth and you be like, well, Mississippi's at 3 million people. You're like, damn, where all these people come from?
Well, no. Here's the deal about the healthcare.
Money.
It's not even about, on my side.
I know
it's not even about the population growth. If we keep the people we have alive longer.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be like, where all these people come from? For one, your people are not leaving the state. They're not leaving the state. They staying.
And look, we had a comment earlier. One of our nightcappers chimed in, Clifton Jeffrey. Shout out to our Tougaloo fam. He was talking about, brain drain. I mean, and that's another topic that we could tackle for another show. But and Fred, he brought up something just a moment ago about Chicago metropolitan area. You got to make places attractive for people to want to stay. And when you make it more attractive, and people have quality of life, they feel invigorated when they walk out their door. They can flush their toilets. All of these things, provide this holistic environment where you get to the point where, hey, I don't mind, holding my elected official accountable, or showing up in meetings, or voting for a particular person, because we've seen progress under their administration. We have flushable toilets, or we have high-speed internet, or we have entertainment districts that cater to families and young people and our elders. All of these things, it all runs back to what happens in these legislative sessions, and the people, like you said, that are holding the pens that chart the future for our state. And we got to make sure that we put the right people in place, and we become more educated about these positions that we may not have known a whole lot about 20, 30 years ago. And now we've got some folks like Representative Stamps that are like you said, going across the aisle, running not necessarily with the pack. You moving around, you visiting different places, you moving the way that what Lil Wayne say, real G's moving silence like lasagna. Lasagna is my favorite food.
But with that, it's two things. I remember Congressman Thompson talking about that one time. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Hello.
Right, that's one.
Hello.
If you're not at the table, you are on the menu. So when you start talking about situations like this, you have to be there to know what they're talking about, what they're doing, so you can be a part of it, and being able to make that change, or being able to put that input in, and being able to at least know what's happening, so you can be able to prepare for the rebuttal or the outcome of something. But you was talking about the situation with finance and the state of Mississippi. You think about how we can change the things we need in this state with a stroke of a pen, and we have the capacity to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like the simple shit that you are looking. Right now we arguing over simple shit. Literally, garbage, streets, well lit. We ain't saying. What we want a smart city where you can push a button. We ain't asking for that. We asking for simple shit. We want to flush a toilet. You don't want to tear your whole car up. When you hit a pot. We are talking about simple things. So the thing is, when you create things here, you are not going to lose people.
Yeah,
you're going to have some people that moved away that come back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And I would share this just like within the frat. I would say we don't need to. You don't have to rush to make a line to bring new people. If everybody in this room, very few people are solo. If you bring the people that cross with you back to the meet,
you're gonna triple your numbers. So we just got to be able to maintain and keep the people here and utilize and listen to them.
Yeah,
we lose a lot of people because we don't listen to them. The ideas they have, oh no, that's crazy. That's the type of stuff they do in New York. But let's do some New York shit. Because if you don't listen to them, they gonna go to New York. You know, are they gonna go somewhere like Jersey? They're gonna go somewhere where they're gonna listen to them. And you losing that brilliancy because of asshat thinking, Neanderthal thinking. And with that is we losing resources, we losing money. And we another thing that Stamp said it was crazy that works. If we focus on organizing our supervisors around the state, because supervisor has a different capacity from city council. Supervisor has a budget. You know what I'm saying? So when you start thinking about logistics and what you can change, and people's like, no, that we don't want to. We want to focus on this, and you just say, okay, you know, but we know we could be in a better position. So now, I think this platform was created so we can educate people, and we can talk about things that needed for our community, not in a stuffy way, but we can have fun, enjoy ourselves, and bring this information to a group of folks that might not attend certain meetings.
Yeah, but
they need to know this information because this
information. Hey, I'm gonna give you one more bill. We didn't talk about legislation. We just talked about money stuff. I'm gonna give you one more, man. Y'all
go ahead.
And a bunch of folks on our side of the fence didn't support it. But there was a bill that allows for junior high schools and high schools to have political organizations in the school.
Right. Firing shots now. Hold up. Who didn't support it?
Oh, a whole bunch of folks. A whole bunch of folks.
I want to know why.
So they were, you know, on the Democrat side, they were saying, hey, we don't want them to have, you know, young Republicans, you know, whatever, junior high and the high school, be able to have rallies at the high school, you know. And so, you know, me, I'm a Freedom Democratic Party guy. I'm saying, hold on. So if they can have a Republican thing, then we can have a Mississippi Move junior chapter at the junior high. We can have a Freedom Democratic Party group at all the junior highs in the state of Mississippi and the high schools. So I said, you know what? Sign me up for that one. I'm gonna help try to get some votes for that one. So I went and nudged some of my colleagues. Hey man, hey. If they can have a Republican thing, that means we can have a Freedom Democratic thing.
Yeah.
In these organizations. But you know, so it passed. And in July 1, you can have political organizations in junior high and high school.
There you go.
In the state of Mississippi.
You know, that was the same conversation. I never forget. We had this. Tyson actually brought this up. We was at the community room at the medical mall when they were fighting to prevent charter schools. And Tyson said, while we got a group fighting against charter schools, we should have a group pulling resources together so we can start our own. Yeah. So we don't never look at, you know, and I would say we as a whole, but we are fighting. It's like, we don't want that to happen. Well, if they can do the shit, does it say that we can't? Well, let's do the same shit that they do. You know,
to be honest with you, I think it's more productive now. I would rather put $1,000 in every high school in my area to start a Freedom Democratic Party group.
Yeah.
And just work with those young people.
Yep. And that way you're developing the
political mindset and understanding how society.
Just work with the young people. Because, you know, working with the older generation, which is my generation as well, is not as productive working with young people.
I'm looking for something. Y'all just keep talking.
But yeah, so that's what I'm excited to look forward to. Oh. So starting July 1, we're gonna be recruiting in all of our high schools and junior highs and saying, hey, who wants to start a club? It could be 4 or 5 of y'all. And I'm just giving the game out there right now.
Yeah.
You can organize them via Zoom. You ain't got to go to the high school in Holmes County. You can meet via Zoom once a month.
Yeah.
And then report back. And so we can get high schools across the state to put these things in place, and they can go out and do voter education.
You know how you're going to increase your number.
Nobody to vote unless they're 18, but they can sure enough move to vote.
Hello.
You know how you're going to increase your voter registration numbers?
Hello.
By educating them. As Stamps always talked about comparing football. You hear, like we just gave an example, right, about Jackson and McCray knowing baseball, soccer.
Mm-hmm.
It starts early. Think about them starting early, understanding life and understanding how things work. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so then when they get older, they're so used to having it, and they look for that. The same way you get the TV and you look for a baseball game because you can relate to it because you've been doing it for so long. Now you look for information that educates you on being able to make the best choices for your society, because you start hearing this information at an early age and start having these discussions, and you saw how it connected to you. In kindergarten, you saw that it depends on someone sitting down with a political position to make a budget to allocate funds so that you can have field trips this year. You know what I'm saying? It was like, dang, we didn't know that. But we have to do things differently in order to get the results we want to see. Because if we keep doing the same old shit, we're gonna keep getting the same old results, which is the true definition for insanity. And we do a lot of insane shit. So if we want to do something with some sanity, we're gonna have to do the thing where people look at you and make you scratch your head. I gave an idea. I'm gonna give this idea again because I just want somebody to take it. I said if we went to the city of Jackson and took at least 20 cars of the cars that they confiscate and found 20 mechanics and started a competition between junior and seniors in JPS, and whoever could register the most folks to vote by the end of the year, tally up the numbers, you get a car, right? So you think about it, as a graduating senior, this mechanic donated this car to you. He's part of this, so you win this car. That's one car your parent don't have to worry about, right? So you feel good for yourself because you work for your car. Now you have a car, because the city ain't gonna do them but sell it for a little bit of nothing anyway. This mechanic is gonna get notification and notoriety because they volunteered their time to fix this car. You feel good. Now, let me tell you where your real magic happened. Your real magic happened for those who are juniors. When they return back to campus, and they were like, yeah, this is the car I won by doing voter registration and getting involved with the community. And like, man, that for real? How you do that? This is what I did. So guess what's gonna happen? Now your number's gonna double. Yep. It don't cost you shit. Because the cars they confiscate, they were going to auction off. So you telling me selling a car for $800 is worth more than donating and investing in the youth? Mm-hmm. I gave that out. The same way I said, if we took the homeless and utilized one of the buildings that could be given to the city and train and work with them, and got the local community organizations and churches or whatever to donate landscaping equipment and use some of them to help with the beautification of the city. That way you focus your public service department on real public service shit versus working on beautification. Now, those who have been dedicated and really show good work ethics, you hire them to your public works department because they already have shown that they're willing to get out there and work and handle the sun, and handle the heat out of cold or whatever. We have the capacity to solve our own problems. So
that car idea is that's my first time hearing that one.
I gave it to that ragged. I gave it to the person that in the one of the mechanics who was a pastor. I gave that idea to them to say, that if you had a free class to teach how to change tires and batteries and all that and make flyers and you fed them, I said you would increase your congregation numbers because you're teaching them something.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, funny man.
All right, so
look, man.
Hey, I know we got to go, guys. I know.
Go ahead, wind this thing up. Go ahead, Stan. Give your.
But
it's almost 10:30.
Let's go. I'm just gonna end like this. And this is how Mac and I, you know, used to in these radio shows we did over the years, and we used to say, never let anybody put you in a position when you don't love your own people. Because when you hate your own people, you're part of the very oppression we're trying to lift ourselves out of. Now, all white folks ain't bad, and all black folks ain't good. But you got to figure out who you're going to put your village together with so you can move forward. I love you, Black with No Chaser. I love you, Nightcap Knowledge. I love you, Mac. I love you, brother. You know, I love with Sabir and everybody else, you know, who chimed in here. I appreciate everybody for what they do. And when y'all want me to come back, let me know, man. You know, I even come down to Gulfport with you, man, to check out your operation. You know, I got a few toys here too, man. I got my game up here. I got me a EOS R. I went and got me a camera. You know, I was trying to get my game up. You know, I had to save Mac. They would ask me, "Why you buying this microphone?" I said, "Hey, we're gonna need it one day at the event." And boom,
we needed it Sunday.
Microphone went out, so I went and got brand new digital microphone.
Yeah,
we have outdoor events. Know how to worry about being analog. You know, so we trying to up our game up here in Jackson, trying to be like you down there, man.
Hey, man, look, we're all in this thing together, all in it together, every last bit of, because what we going to where the money reside, baby. We going.
Wait.
We'll see y'all right back here Tuesday at 9:00. Nightcap Knowledge. Black with No Chaser. It is what the TI is. We appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. Shout out to my man in the comments, Sabir. We shout out to Fred. Shout out to Cliff. We really got to get that brain drain conversation going. So maybe we get Cliff and Fred on for that one, man. Do a duel.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's hit that email. We'll see y'all soon, man. Peace out.